There we go. And so, starting with our first topic, we'll be talking about the upcoming AIDS conference in Montreal. And so, sorry, I can't see my notes, which is a problem, because I need to be able to share a few of those links. Oh, sorry. There we go. Sorry. It's a new setup because I'm in the whole team is in Montreal for the conference, and so some of the things are a little bit disorganized. And I hear that the interpreter should be speaking a bit louder. Thank you, merci précieux pour l'avoir indiqué. So, AIDS22 is about to start. We have GFAN has a number of plans for the conference, a number of tools. So we have some posting links in the chat. Some of the key tools in there. The first one is our GFAN guide to AIDS22. It's fairly comprehensive. It has a list of all of our sessions that will be hosted in a number of spaces. There is one in the Global Village, the networking zone. We have a meeting space near the conference center in the Embassy Suite hotel. We'll be hosting a pre-conference. So all of that is detailed in the GFAN guide, but it also has a list of all, we think most of the relevant sessions for global fund advocates during the conference. So I think we've listed in there like absolutely enough for you to know where to go at any given time of the night and day. I think there's about 40 sessions listed in there. So have a look. The guide is on the website, or you can get it directly from the link I just put it in the chat. So some of the key events and some of the key spaces and key actions that we are organizing. So the first one will be kicking off our engagement at AIDS22 with a civil society pre-meeting. It will be on July 28th, so tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. It's taking place in an hotel near the conference center called Saint-Sulpice. So it's very easy to find, 5-minute walks from the conference center. And it's an open invitation. So if any of you are here in person in Montreal, and we'll come back to that, please join us. We'll have a quick cocktail and drinks afterward, and we'll give you a chance to coordinate. It'll be a chance to regroup because this is the first AIDS conference taking place in person in 4 years. I know that for many of us, it's the first time that we really get a chance to connect as global coalitions of advocates in face to face in person in a long time. So we hope to see many of you at the pre-meeting. Then there's two spaces where we'll be hosting a lot of our events. The first one is the meeting space at the Embassy Suite Hotel. So we'll be hosting sessions from tomorrow, so from the 28th up until the 1st in that space. It's got a bit of a smaller capacity. It's only up to 30 people. And if any of you need a room at any point during the conference, feel free to reach out to me to book that meeting room for your event. But note that things have gotten very busy in the past few weeks, so I don't know if I will be able to accommodate you, but it doesn't cost anything to reach out. So at the mini space, we have a mix of private and public events. All the public ones are included in our various guides and schedules that you must have seen over the past few weeks. We also have in the Global Village a networking zone. The Global Village is open from 10:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. From Saturday to Monday. We're going to have panel discussions. Many of those we're going to have presentations, launch of reports and documents, meet and greets with Global Fund staff, and members of board delegations to the Global Fund. We have a town hall meeting with Peter Sand. We will be hosting our own sessions in the networking zone. We're launching a report, and we're presenting some of our plans for the last mile up until the conference. So we hope to see many of you there in person. If you're not able to join us in Montreal, and we know that it's been a challenge for many of you, we'll have a discussion around that in a moment. But note that there'll be opportunities to amplify and to join online a number of these sessions. Many of them will be hybrid, so do keep an eye out. We'll be announcing hybrid sessions as they come, and organizers will be reaching out with Zoom links, etc., for you to be able to join, even if you're not able to be here. And so I wanted to just cover some of the before giving the floor to our Canadian colleagues. Some of the key issues for us getting into the conference that we'll be trying to keep at the center of conversations throughout the conference, that we'll be paying particular attention to. The first one is, of course, the state of the replenishment. So we're hoping for a pledge from Canada, or at least we've heard that Canada might be pledging during the conference. So we've published a call to Prime Minister Trudeau last week. We'll be sharing. Sorry, I need to. Every time I want to share something, I need to be leaving this. Sorry, this is extremely impractical. So I'm gonna get these. There you go. All right, I'm going to share the screen again. We're coming right back. Apologies. So as I said, we have published last week a call to Prime Minister Trudeau for asking for Canada to pledge 1.2 billion for the replenishment. You can find the video that we've recorded with Lois Maturu, who made that call on our behalf, on the link that I just posted. And you also see a link to a tweet that we prepared and posted with that call. Please, if you do take a minute, if you haven't already, to go and amplify that tweet, repost it, like it, share it with your networks. There's still, like, what we hear is that we still don't know whether there'll be a pledge. We still know where the pledge is going to be, and the door seems to be very much open. And so we still can do something about it. So please do use that tool. We hope our best on that front. And the reason why we hope our best is because, and even though this is of course not going to be, all of our public communication around this, but we of course worried about replenishment. There's been very few early pledges, and not all of them are encouraging. Germany only increased by 20% over 30, though that might change. Sweden only increased 5%, but in both cases, because of the strengthening of the dollar, the actual increases in dollar are a lot smaller than the increases in national currency, so it's also a challenge. So we really hope that in the coming weeks and months we'll be able to create more momentum on the way to the pledging conference. But we'll be very much putting the replenishment at the center of our communication throughout the conference. We also will be talking a lot about the state of the fight. Of course, COVID is going to be at the center of a lot of the conversations because we're still feeling the impact of COVID, and how much ground we've lost has really been at the center of our arguments for the need for extraordinary gestures and a larger than ever replenishment. We also will be launching a key and vulnerable population brief at the conference, centered on the idea that people are still dying and key populations are still the most exposed. We're very proud of a piece of work, and we'll be we're very excited to sharing it, to get a chance to launch in person at the conference. And finally, of course, we'll be talking about the promises and opportunities of the new Global Fund strategy. There's a lot. We're quite excited to see that the strategy is opening a lot of doors for engagement with new issues, in particular with mental health, which we'll come back to in a second. So there'll be also a lot of opportunities to talk about how to shape implementation of the strategy and talk further about what to be done and organized around the strategy, the end of the strategy development process. So these are key issues. I will and some of the tools and events that we have planned. Please do go if whether you're attending AIDS22 in person or not. Have a look at our AIDS22 page. Take a look at our guide, and get in touch if there's anything you want us to amplify during the conference. I want to take a second because I see that there's about 40 people on the call. I'm launching a poll. You should see on your screen now. I want to get a sense of how many of you will be attending AIDS22 and how many of you will not. So it's about a 50-50 split. With actually quite a few of you will not be attending the conference. All right, so that's a bit what I was expecting, and so we'll be hearing from our Canadian colleagues. But after that, I want all of you who won't be able to join us at the conference, and I know that for many advocates, in particular for many advocates from the Global South, it's been extremely challenging to travel to Canada. We've been working on visa issues at GFAN for the past 2 months, and we've really seen the impact of that firsthand. So we'll think about if there's any particular key messages that you would like to highlight for those of us who were lucky enough to secure a spot at the conference, so that the fact that you're not present in person will not mean that your voices are not heard. So think on that, but we'll come back to that during the discussion. I'm going to end the poll. And Ekata, if I can leave the floor to you for your updates. I'll stop sharing the screen.
Thank you so much for that, Quentin. Can you hear me?
Yes, very much.
Amazing. So I'm not sure who all on this call will be present at the conference, but we at Results Canada are really looking forward to welcoming you to Montreal this week. As you all know, we've been working for months to secure a $1.2 billion pledge from Canada to the Global Fund at the International AIDS Conference. And for now, we've been getting extremely mixed signals from the government. If there's a pledge, it's likely to be announced this Friday. So we have no clue of what to expect at this stage. We are most likely to know 24 hours before the conference. So like Quentin said, please go ahead and amplify our message until the final hour. We are on our home stretch at this point. So we need to keep pushing. And as part of this final push, our coalition in Canada has been churning out some amazing content on social media. My colleague Lee, who's on this call, will be posting the links as I talk my way through the content. So the first is we've been running a video series as part of our Fight for What Counts campaign, featuring drag queens and grandmothers from across Canada, calling on the Prime Minister to make the $1.2 billion pledge. It would be great if you all could amplify these messages using the hashtag 1.2 billion. And we've also been amplifying GFAN speaker Lois's video. And I know, Quentin, you've already posted the link in the chat, but Lee will post it in the chat again. So Lois, as Katie mentioned in the chat, shared stage with Prime Minister Trudeau during the 5th pledging conference in Montreal in 2016. And her message has been very powerful and compelling. And the second is we've also been quite vocal in the press, and we would really like your support in amplifying our op-eds in high impact publications like the Globe and Mail and Devex. And again, a reminder, when you amplify our content, please do not forget to use the $1.2 billion hashtag and to tag Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. And if you want to see all the content we've produced with our partners, please follow the 1.2 billion hashtag on Twitter. And Results Canada has also put together an educational prezi for our Global Fund campaign. And all of you are welcome to share and repurpose for your country context. And after this call, we will compile all these links and resources and share it with share it with all of you. So now for the conference itself. Like I said, a pledge is likely to be announced. If there is a pledge, it's likely to be announced on Friday. And if a pledge does come through, it would be great to have you all support with our rapid response by participating in either celebrating or shaming the government alongside us. We are coordinating a strong coalition of Canadian allies and getting reaction scenarios ready right now. And we're happy to share those with all of you later today. For those of you who can't attend the rapid response, Results Canada also has a Fight for What Counts response session at the GFAN networking zone, secured for Sunday from 1 to 3:30 p.m. EST. Please stop by and engage with us and the wider community. We'll also be engaging GFAN speaker Gautam Yadav to take part in the response, and we've also lined up media engagements for him. And for those of you on this call who aren't attending the conference, we would really like you to amplify our response to the pledge on social media platforms. In addition to this, we also have highly engaged. We are also highly engaged in staffing the Stop TB Canada booth. As you all may know, Stop TB Canada is hosted by Results Canada, and will be at the Global Village, and it will be open from Saturday to Monday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So all of you are welcome to come say hello, or you could use the space alongside with us to continue advocating for a successful replenishment. And besides this, there will be lots happening at the conference itself. Our coalition has, I think Lee will share this Excel doc of how our coalition is engaging in different sessions at the AIDS conference. So please do come and support these sessions. And we are also excited to support GFAN and Global Fund in the sessions they've planned. I know, Quentin, you've already posted those links. Lee will post those links again for all of you. So that's it from our side. So safe travels to everyone, and let's stay optimistic about getting that $1.2 billion from Canada. And like I said, we are happy to share these links with all of you after this call. Thank you so much. Over to you, Quentin.
Thank you so much, Ekla. And so that's a lot of links, that's a lot of updates. As we just said, we'll be sending we'll gather all of this into an email and pass it on to the whole listserv to make sure that you haven't missed anything. But now I want to open the floor to anyone to make any comments. So if you have any questions to either me or Ekata about any actions during the conference, any of our events, or anything really about the conference, please feel free to raise your hand, turn on your video. I don't see any hands yet. And so then now, of course, if you have any questions, feel free to still bring them up. But so I saw that about 30 of you on the call will not be able to attend the conference, and it's really a shame. And so I wanna give everyone an opportunity to reach out and give us if you have any specific message that you think we should be carrying at the conference venues on your behalf throughout in the next week. Is there any key messages, any key issues that you would want to bring up and wished you could have brought up in person, but you were not able to attend? I was really hoping that hyper interactive poll would have created more enthusiasm. All right. Well, thank you, Linda. So we did. Okay. So I see that. So Shannon, for the opportunities to participate virtually. So of course, anyone who has a virtual conference pass can attend almost every session, including a number of Global Village sessions. Our guide mentions where all of these, which of the channels should be joined to see these different sessions. For all of the events that we're organizing, the ones that will be hybrid, we'll be sharing Zoom links as they're being shared with us by organizers, and we hope to stream a number of sessions as well. And so we'll be sharing all of this on the listserv. So thanks, Shannon, for your question. Katie, do you want to take the floor for a second?
Yeah, I just, and apologies to everyone for my voice today. I have a bit of a sore throat, still testing negative, so hoping that I get out of this hotel room with no problems here in Montreal. Just to say that I just wanted to highlight, and this is in our guide, the links to which have already been shared, is that there is an activists meeting tomorrow evening for those who are in Montreal to learn more about some of the marches and actions that are planned at the AIDS conference, maintaining a long-held tradition of making sure that the voices of those who are most impacted are heard through sort of the main, processes and moments of the conference. So for anyone who is in Montreal, it's being organized by Coalition Plus. It's not ours, but we've timed our meeting ahead of time so that you have lots of time to leave the GFAN pre-meeting to get to the activist meeting afterwards, where I understand there's pizza for everyone, so you don't have to worry about being fed properly tomorrow evening, but can learn lots about some of the activities that are being planned. I don't see any of the organizers of that session here on today's call, and I'm assuming it's partly because of travel and jet lag. But if anybody else had any other information about some of those actions or marches that are taking place during the conference with others here, feel free to use the listserv, of course, but throw your hand up or pop something into the notes. And I'm just noting Asia Russell's on the call, and I just wondered, Asia, if we could just call on you to share an update, because I know you've been super active on this. Asia, go ahead.
Thanks, Katie. Thanks, Kenton. Yeah, please join us on the 29th. As usual, there'll be this meeting as well as nightly activist convenings. Oh, sorry, I didn't introduce myself. I'm Asia Russell from Health Gap. Unfortunately, the meetings will not be hybrid. Part of the point of the discussions are about what concrete actions and interventions we can take together, but we will definitely share out to people who won't be and have been blocked from participating in person or cannot travel for so many other reasons, both consensual reasons and non-consensual, so that we can amplify the powerful demand for full funding and for the political will needed to defeat HIV and the other pandemics of today. So please pass by, be in touch with me directly if you know of an opportunity for action you want shared or you want help in organizing. The demand for full funding is something that's going to be highlighted in UNAIDS's launch of their In Danger report in just a few hours. So that's also a media opportunity today to try to encourage executive management, leadership at UNAIDS to directly call out the government of Canada and the need for the $1.2 billion pledge. But we know there'll be other opportunities during the conference itself ahead of that Friday deadline to turn up the heat and pressure on our duty bearers. So thanks for spreading the word, and please, thank you, Kenton, for posting the flyer. And please be sure to RSVP for a head count so that Health Gap and other organizers can make sure to support. Thank you.
Oh, I see that Jack has posted a comment in the chat about a march taking place from 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. on Saturday. This is really exciting. This is quite exciting because it's been a challenge to manage to get permits for these marches. So I hope we'll be able to join, and we'll hope to see many of you there. Thanks a lot, Jake, for highlighting that. And we'll get into it. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
That's okay, Quentin, thanks. I will chase up with Let's Stop AIDS. I only have confirmation from Asha there that apparently they do have permission to do that. We're not quite sure what form that's going to take, but I think it will just at the stage it's at in terms of planning. The hashtag is No Visa, No Voice, and we'll be calling to attention the visa debacle. But when I have more information, I'll be able to share it with you to share around for sure.
Thanks a lot, Jake. Amazing. So again, I want to give everyone an opportunity to take the floor with any AIDS22 related questions or remarks. But if we've covered everything, we'll be moving on to our next topic, which is perhaps then more I don't know if more relevant, but since a number of you won't be able to attend the conference, we wanted to take the chance to talk about a number of resources that we've been preparing over the past month. So it's a bit of a radical turn from the previous topic, but it's been a busy time beside working towards the Montreal conference, and we've realized that we haven't really had the chance to sit back and really go through all of the materials that we had been putting out over the past few months. Sorry, I can hear that someone has unmuted themselves. Okay. And I stood on the camera. Maria, you're on screen, just so you know. All right, so I'll be. I'm assuming this is someone playing with a phone, probably a tiny person. So we've been putting out a number of tools and a number of tools. Sorry, I was extremely distracted by the toddler playing with a phone there. So over the past few months, and particularly over the past few weeks, we've released a number of new pieces of content that we hope are going to be useful in the next, in the last mile to a pledging conference. And so we've tried to cover a number of emerging and important topics, and we wanted to take the time on this call to sit back and sort of go through most of these resources, how we think they can be used, and contribute to your work and your advocacy. Because of course, all that work we're putting out there is only useful if it's useful to you and if you're aware of its existence. So I'm going to post in the chat a list of links to all of these documents. So there's a few of them, and I'm just going to quickly go through the list in case there's any of them that you had not heard about before and are wondering how to use. So the first one, and it's been pandemic preparedness has been an emerging topic. It's a new topic for many of us, something we haven't had a chance to work on before. And just as importantly, the players aren't the same as the people we use to advocate to and work with. In particular, this time around, we have to work with the World Bank a lot more, and on the new fund, and it's presenting a number of challenges and just forces us to go back to do some homework. So to facilitate that, we've put together a resource page that we regularly updating. It contains dozens of resources on pandemic preparedness, and specifically the new fund that is being launched and hosted by the World Bank under the name, I don't think they've changed it yet, of PPPR5, so financial sorry, I'm quite jet lagged, so I remember what intermediary fund. So the pandemic prevention, preparedness, and response financial intermediary fund. So the resource pages contains dozens of resources, and in particular a list of all comments that have been made to the white paper that was released by the World Bank earlier this year. It's really interesting to go back and read some of those. Many of the authors of those comments are on the call today, it covers a lot of ground. We're still discovering Maria's flat in the on video, which is quite interesting. I assume she's muted and she is now realizing that she's on camera. So besides the resource page, we've also put together a backgrounder that sort of summarizes some of the information from a lot of the work that has been done around that new fund. It's a useful read because because of the way this fund is being hosted. There's a lot of technicalities that I think are important to grasp for advocates. So the background is very short; it's 2 pages. So we really recommend that you go and have a read. The link is in the chat. Last week we hosted a webinar on that new fund. So it was one of our we only have good calls, but it was one of our better good ones. And so we've posted a recording on our website, and you can watch it there. It's an hour and a half. It was very interesting presentations and very important discussions around those presentations. So it's really worth a watch if you haven't had the chance to see it. And we'll keep on releasing content around pandemic preparedness in the coming weeks because it's a fast-moving issue. We're hoping to have some of our colleagues from StopAIDS to do an update, but they were not able to join today. We'll be coming back again to that topic. And before I move on to some of our other resources, I want to give the floor to Katie with some comments.
Thanks, Conte. Sorry. I was also just trying to pop into the chat for you all of the links of the resources that you were just discussing. But I did just want to, I just did want to throw it out there, and I don't have a fancy poll like Conte, but I did just want to throw it out there that, in the past, GFAN has worked very little, frankly, on the World Bank as GFAN. We did try, I think back in 2017, 2018 to sort of have this discussion. We even prepared what now looks fairly optimistic, I guess, as a guide to sort of advocating on sort of global fund health financing issues at the World Bank. And I just wanted to just throw it out there as we, hopefully get some conversation going around all of this, is like, what would be helpful, or what resources do you have around World Bank advocacy in general that might help with colleagues, who may be looking at the World Bank sort of, for the first time? For example, not everybody might know that, there's directors at the World Bank that represent sort of each country that are members of the directors board. And sometimes those are places that you can go in terms of, getting meetings and advocating to, but it's not necessarily something that is in everybody's sort of advocacy toolkit. And so it would be helpful to just sort of get a sense from people around what sort of level of advocacy they have done. Perhaps we'll send out a survey about this at some point to just get a better sense of, we've been trying to keep up to date and trying to make sure that we're hosting these conversations that are useful broadly, increasing colleagues, sharing of their expertise in advocating to the World Bank, and also just sort of talking about that as a community could be helpful. So I just wanted to put that forward in terms of you know, if there are those of you out there who, you know, could pop links into resources that you have around that kind of general World Bank information and knowledge, that's great. Or if you have specific things that you think would be helpful that we could do as GFAN as we continue down this sort of path of trying to share, you know, PPR, you know, PPPR, FIF resources and understanding, that would be great. So I just wanted to hopefully jog some people's thoughts and comments around that as we start sort of discussion here, Conte. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Katie. And if anyone wants to jump in with some experience or comments about working with the World Bank, now is the time. All right. So we'll be following up on some of these issues through email. And again, this is sorry. Go ahead, Mark.
I just want to say, in Washington, we've been working together, you know, with our invaluable allies, Health Gap Asia, and Results on, you know, DC Advocates Group on these issues. And we ourselves, of course, are focused on other things than the World Bank over time. But as we get our arms around it in Washington, we'd be very eager to work with colleagues around the world. Our hope is to gain some funding to be able to have a collective global advocates effort on this. And so we'll keep in touch with you. I will put that advocates group statement into the chat box.
Thanks a lot, Mark. And I think, yeah, I think I think all of these any experience really working with the World Bank is really useful, because it's just not a space that we've had a chance to engage in a lot. And it's like I think some of the challenges have been around knowing having the contact and knowing the people. Some of it is also in terms of the tone and content of advocacy. And I think we're used to engaging with people that have a certain approach to problems and issues. And I think one of the challenges of working on pandemic preparedness is that it seems that it's less like it doesn't work as well. People don't listen to us as much because they're not used to the kind of vocabulary that we use. Linda, I saw your question in the chat about any reporting tools that we've put together to help bring together the views and opinions of communities to be able to report up. We haven't really put together that kind of tool for this during this replenishment. I don't know if we've had in the past, but it is useful to know that that would be something that could be useful. And I think especially in the context of a new strategy it would be valuable. It would be a valuable tool. And so we could think about working on building something like that. Though it would have to be probably after a pledging conference, because I can't see any of this happening at a large scale from now to September. But thanks for the suggestion and the question. There's a thank Jack as well for sharing a number of links from the toolkits around the European Commission meeting. We're really hoping to hear from some of the Stop AIDS colleagues, either Courtney or Mike, on some of the latest development around the new fund. But there's been there is a number of meetings that will be taking place all over the summer, hosted, and please someone jumps in if I'm wrong, by the European Commission. And in particular, topics of conversation will include all of the governance of the new fund. So these are really crucial meetings, and Stop AIDS has been very active in sharing information around the organization of these meetings, the decision points, etc. So I really strongly encourage everyone to follow the links shared by Jake, and we'll be adding those to our resource page as well.
Thanks, Quentin. Just super quickly on that, Mike, Courtney, and my colleague Molly P. Jones are all going to be at the conference, and so I think everyone's kind of traveling at the moment, so that's why they're not on this call. But we will, reconvene everyone in the weeks following. But you are right that there are meetings going on, every week, I think, through September, when they plan to launch the 5th. So we'll keep everyone updated when we can. Thanks.
Thanks, Jake. No, and to be clear, sorry, if I wasn't a dig at Stop AIDS, they're all in planes. That's the reason why we're not here. So it's really a scheduling problem and not a lack of willingness to join us. So thanks a lot, Jake, for jumping in. And yeah, and thanks for all the links. Katie, do you wanna jump in? I don't know if she. I hope.
Yeah, just really quickly to say that. Hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we can.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, my voice is a little off today. But just to say that with those weekly meetings, there is sort of a fifth advocacy group that anybody who is interested can join, and I'll find and pop in the Google group link here, which just connects you to others like those of us who organized that webinar a few weeks ago. So that hopefully if you're interested in keeping up on those conversations, you can join those, because we have definitely had, last week and this week, some direct action, sort of taking, primarily over social media, but to sort of demand a space within the conversations, because there are weekly meetings happening where civil society and communities are not represented. And then just to say also that if it's tomorrow morning, it is available virtually. I am going to have to cut off registration in about 2 hours from now, but I will pop it in and it's still up on our IAS website, which we've shared the link to. But we are hosting a virtual hybrid meeting here at IAS around pandemic preparedness, prevention and response. So if you are interested in that, please do RSVP for that. Again, I think Conte mentioned it earlier, but it's a small room, so we may have to get hosting the meeting, but we do welcome folks to join us. So we'll be doing that tomorrow, and then having a follow-up short session at the end of the conference on the 1st to try and generate some action and collaboration and a path forward together is our hope coming out of the conversation. So I'll pop those links in for everyone.
Thanks, Katie. You were breaking up a little bit, but I think we got most of it. In particular, the fact that we strongly encourage everyone on this call today. And Sharon, you were asking about opportunities to engage virtually. That session on pandemic preparedness that will take place tomorrow morning Eastern time. Will be available online, so we'll be sharing the link. Thanks a lot, Katie. And so, is there any further questions or comments around these resources on pandemic preparedness and more generally the work that we've been doing in that space? All right. So I see no more questions and comments, and so I'll be moving on to some of the other pieces of work that we've been working on. And so, as you all must know, by now we've been releasing a number of briefs, each of them addressing a specific issue in the lead up to the replenishment. We've been releasing these briefs as complements to our fully funded Global Fund report that was published in November. And that contained in particular civil society ask. And so in the past 2 weeks, we've released 3 more of these briefs. So these are short documents. They're under 5 pages each. Each of them addressing a specific issue with regard to the work of a global fund. And so the last 3 that we've released, we've worked with partners to put this together. First, one is on gender equality. We released it last week. We've worked with Women for the Global Fund to put the brief together. And the idea is really to highlight how can global fund programs be truly gender transformative and address and remedy gender inequalities, and how the work and how the fight against the 3 diseases will in itself have a positive impact in the fight for gender equality. It's an important piece, we think, to put out, because a number of countries are have gender equality as a priority for their aid budgets, and are threatening to cut the amounts, maintain, or be less ambitious than they should be for replenishment. So we think it's particularly important in that context to remind these countries in our advocacy that if they are serious about promoting gender equality, they very much should be funding the Global Fund, because the fight against free disease is very much a fight for gender equality. We've also released also last week a brief on community system strengthening and community-led response. I think this is also a very important brief, especially in the context of pandemic preparedness, where a lot of the discussions that are taking place around the additional funding for pandemic preparedness are looking at additional investment in laboratory instruments, PPE, vaccines, vaccine development, all very important topics. But we think that it's particularly important to remind everyone in the context of COVID and of a return of a security-based discussion of global health, that communities need to be at the center. They are always at the front line, and it's by supporting communities and their fight that we can end the free disease and protect ourselves against emerging threats. And we've seen throughout COVID how communities have been mobilizing to not only maintain services to vulnerable populations for the free disease, but also to fight the pandemic itself. And so we've put together that brief to try to highlight some of the ways that that community systems can be supported, and the type of initiatives that have been taken by existing communities working on the free diseases throughout the past 2 years. And finally, and you've already heard about this brief on our last call if you had the chance to join, but we released a brief on mental health that we worked on with United for Mental Health, James Sell, who I don't think I've seen on the call today. It's again also an important piece. Mental health is again included in a number of countries as a priority for their aid funding. It's also important because it's for the first time been included explicitly in the Global Fund new strategy, and we really think that it's an important opportunity. Mental health is key to in the context of HIV and TB in particular, to improve the quality of life of people affected by the diseases, and the Global Fund, by being as large as it is, can really do a lot in that space by better integrating mental health in its programs and promoting it at the country level. So these three briefs are number 8, 9, and 10, I think. So we've released a number of those. The links have all been posted in the chat. Please do go to our website, have a look at those 3 briefs and a number of ones we've been released throughout the year. They are a useful tool for not only for your advocacy, because they can be given to policymakers and decision makers, but also a good opportunity for you to refresh, make sure that you have had access to the most recent data on these various issues, and we think for a number of those address issues that we have not always had the chance to work on before. So it's a good way to get yourself up to speed. And finally, I want to highlight our replenishment pledge tracker, which regrettably hasn't seen as much action in this replenishment campaign as the last time, because there's been fewer early announcements. It is still, we've just updated it with the latest pledges from Sweden and a number of private sector companies. It's still a useful tool to sort of realize what's the road ahead looking like, and what is the road to 18 billion looking like. As of now, we're still quite far, and the tracker includes visual representations of where we at with regard to the overall replenishment, and also specifically with private sector pledges, because since this is a very ambitious replenishment, we had big hopes for public sector pledges. We've not yet seen a lot, but we hope we will be seeing more in the next month and a half. Yes, and so this is the non-exhaustive list of some of the documents documents, tools, and resources that we've been releasing over the past month. I want to give the floor to all of you if there is any final comments or remarks you want to make regarding any of these tools or regarding AIDS22. And I don't see any. And so I want to thank everyone for joining us on the call. I want to again post in the chat the video from Lois calling on Canada to increase its pledge to 1.2 billion. I really can't stress how important it is, and we really are at a crucial time, as Eketa really stressed. So now will really be the time to go on social media and make sure that increase the chance that that this video is seen by the right people in Canada. And I'm also reposting in the chat our tools with regard to the AIDS conference, or guide to the conference, and the main page with all the information. For all of you that will be in town, we're really looking forward to see all of you at the pre-conference civil society pre-conference meeting that we're organizing tomorrow. And with this, unless there is any last-minute comments, I want to thank Eketa for joining us on the call for really useful and important updates. Thank you, Katie, for jumping in as well, and to all of you who. Sorry, I'm seeing a final. Hi, Catherine. Catherine is asking if anyone has any intel on EU pledging moments or key moments for EU advocacy in coming months. With her email address. I haven't seen her. I don't know that. I think a lot of EU specialists are traveling, so I don't know. I don't know that you'll hear back from them, Catherine. But we'll make sure to pass on your call to our colleagues when we see them in the coming days. So I want to thank everyone for joining us today. We'll hopefully see many of you in person. And for all of you that we can't see in person, do feel free to reach out throughout the conference. We'll be busy keeping an eye on our emails and making sure that we can amplify any specific messages or issues that you have. Oh, thanks, Tarida, for jumping in on that question from Catherine. On this, I will be closing the call. Thanks again, everyone. And see some of you in person and some of you for our next call. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Quentin. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Merci, au revoir.
Au revoir.